Yo guys, what's going on? It's Savage here and welcome back to another video. As many of you guys know, this past weekend was the Madden 20 closed beta. If you got a code, you got to play the alpha version of Madden 20. And I said last week, after I was done playing the beta, I would make a brutally honest video of my thoughts and opinions, pretty much a overall review of Madden 20, and that is exactly what I'm going to do today. Now, I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I have constructed a pretty decent sized list of almost everything that I think most people were talking about and everything that if it wasn't talked about people would probably question. So that's what I'm going to be covering in this video. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Here is my 100% brutally honest review of Madden 20 from what I got to play over the weekend in the Madden 20 closed beta. Now, before we hop into this list, I just want to give you guys a quick heads up. If you see me kind of look to my left, it's because I'm actually reading the list off of my other monitor. So I just wanted to kind of clear that before people were like, yo, Savage, you got a neck problem. The first thing on my list is everybody's favorite thing to do in Madden, which is pass the ball. Now, I find passing the ball in Madden to be pretty fun when everything about passing the ball is working correctly. Now, passing the ball is smooth. I'm not saying like anything is like super outlandish, but there are some things that definitely need to be fixed, tuned, whatever they want to call it over at EA. The first thing that I feel like the passing game definitely needs an improvement with is the lead pass, meaning when you try to lead the ball in front of a receiver. In my opinion, that is a skill. That is a skill gap. Knowing how to lead the ball. You know, whether it's like in front of them, like inside of them, outside of them. You know, like kind of like up and outside of them. Like that's a skill. Like being able. In Madden 20, there are instances where you know your opponent might be using a drag. You have a pretty clean pocket. You lead past the ball ahead of the drag so that he can kind of like catch it away from your the defender's user, and the ball ends up in the Gatorade guy's hand on the sideline, and you're like, what the hell? There are also some instances where you might be running like a nice little like maybe like a post from like the slot, like a skinny post from the slot. You'll run up, you'll get right underneath that soft spot against, like, let's just say it's like a cover 3. So your back will be turned to the outside third on the sideline, and then it'll be underneath the middle third, and you'll like lead pass it to like the up and in so that you can kind of catch it underneath. And when you lead it up and in, it goes up over the receiver's head into the free safety's hands, and you're like, okay, how do I beat that? It's just something that can be tuned. Hopefully, I just feel like that's a big thing that needs to be fixed. The next thing that needs to be adjusted when passing the football is 100% how long the ball stays in the air on deep passes. For example, like I feel like the most noticeable one for me at least was when I was just like, you know, just seeing how the deep halves in a cover 2 were playing. And they play the side, like, you know, in football, the deep halves in a cover 2 are meant to, you know, kind of, you know, start in the middle and they go out diagonally to each of their sidelines, their respected sides of the field. And, you know, the way to beat cover 2 is up the middle, or like a post up, like from the sideline to the middle of the field. And that's how you beat cover 2. It's how you beat cover 2 in real life. It's how you beat cover 2 in Madden. What I noticed was if you were throwing like a 30 to 40 yard post route and your dude on that post is wide open, the ball would stay in the air for so long, those defenders that were on the sidelines that are completely out of position now have all the time in the world to get in position. I just personally feel like the ball needs to get either drop faster, or they just need to lower like the trajectory of how high. I guess he's throwing it in the, like, it looks like it's honestly, I don't even know what it looks like, to be completely honest with you. It's just the ball's in the air too long. Next on the list in regards to passing is the thing that I hate the most. My biggest pet peeve, a lot of people's biggest pet peeve, and that is QB release time, meaning how fast the quarterback releases the football when he throws it. I get that when a quarterback is throwing the ball deep, they wind up, they really step into it, and it takes them a bit longer to throw the football. But I've never seen a quarterback wind up, step into throwing a 3-yard hitch. Never in my life. In Madden 20, however, though, if you throw a 40-yard post route, you get the same long, exaggerated throwing motion as if you were throwing a 3-yard hitch. I tweeted about it, some pro players tweeted about it, and a few devs, you know, responded saying this is something that we have to adjust to. I get it. If it's something that we have to adjust to, it's something we have to adjust to. If they're really not going to fix it, I guarantee 99% of the people that play the game are going to be really frustrated with it, because it is going to take some time to get used to watching your quarterback look like he's getting ready to throw it to the stadium in the state over. But with that being said, I hope that they hear our cries for help and tweak that a little bit. The final key point for passing that I think a lot of people are going to like is that high balls and low balls cannot be spammed religiously. I'm so happy. There's actually a little thing at the bottom of the screen. You know, sometimes it pops up, it says like under pressure or on the run. This year it says high ball inaccurate, high ball accurate, high ball under pressure, low ball accurate, low ball inaccurate, like low. It really is. You gotta have a clean pocket. You gotta be standing still. Your feet gotta be 100% set in order to accurately deliver a high ball or a low ball. You can't be running around back foot 180 playing twister, throw it for a high. No more. I love it. Now let's go ahead and discuss some of the aspects of running the ball in Madden. Now, running the ball in Madden was really OP in 18. A lot of people hated the pitch and dive meta and stuff like that. Even last year in 19, Wham at one point would lead the way with super OP with the Wham glitch and stuff. But this year, I'm not gonna front. Running is very easy. The blocking is actually incredible, and it could be very overpowered in terms of when you're running offense. I just noticed that when you like run the football, I don't know if it's I don't know if it was me. I don't know really what it was, but I just feel like the offensive line, when I would run the ball, they would just, like, even if somebody tried to shoot the gap, they just couldn't. I don't know if it's because the dexterity of the usering on defense is a bit slower this year, which I will talk about in this video, but overall, I just think running the ball is super good. Next up, we got to talk about receiving. How are Ags? Are Ags crazy? Not really. They're kind of meh. There are times, though, you know, you'll get that one-on-one, you'll be able to throw it up, and you'll ag them. You will, but there are times where you'll throw up a one-on-one, and you might get picked. Yes, you actually might get picked, or it'll be an incompletion. You can't really rely on high ball Ags at all, just pretty much what I said earlier in the passing portion of this video. The high balls, you can't spam them. The low balls, you can't spam them. So you can't really spam high ball Ags this year, which is a great. A lot of catches, what I did notice, this is something interesting. This is actually something that a bunch of me and my friends were talking about, is a lot of the catches are diving. Like, I feel like if you throw a ball across the middle, there is almost like a 75% chance that your receiver, instead of like, you know, like, I don't know, instead of like catching it and like running with it, he'll like dive in the air and catch it and like securely bring it down. I don't know if it was just the type of, maybe I was throwing it in a tight window or something and he felt that was the securest way to catch it, or if it was the type of catch I was using. All I know is I've noticed a lot of players just diving when catching the ball, even on interceptions as well. And also, I just noticed that receivers do take a bit of time to get off the line of scrimmage, which I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I was playing, it was regs or something. I mean, people always say regs is so much different than MUT. I just feel like receivers did take a bit of time to get off the line of scrimmage when running their routes. But, I mean, all in all, as long as Ags aren't crazy, I'm happy. Now, let's go ahead and talk about blocking. Now, this is something that a lot of people like to talk about in terms of O-line, but I'll be honest with you, the O-line is the O-line, guys. It's Madden. The O-line will be manipulated every year. It always will be. The O-line is going to sometimes miss blocks. They're going to look like idiots. They're going to block ghosts. I'm just sure it's going to happen. Not in the run game, though. The run game, they're really crazy. But let's also talk about upfield blocking. And what I mean by that is if you throw like a slant and you got receivers in front of you, they actually block. Like, they block. It is great. It is one of my favorite things in the game. How many times in like Madden 18, Madden 17, Madden 19 have you thrown a ball and you got dudes in front of you and they just start running? And there's defenders running at you and the receivers running and they just cross pass and they let you get tackled. They really are aware of where to go when blocking. I love it. I think it's great. I mean, the O-line, hopefully, maybe one day it'll be a little bit better, but I guarantee you in the next few years, the O-line's always going to be the O-line in Madden. It's just something that we're going to have to deal with. Let's go ahead now and talk about ball carrier moves. I was going to put this under like the rushing section of this video, but I feel like ball carrier moves kind of deserve its own little section. because spins and jukes aren't as OP anymore in my opinion. I feel like the stiff arm is going to be the most OP ball carrier move this year. But what I do love is that the left stick, the real stick, not no spamming button stick, the real stop and go stick is going to be the best thing this year. The player movement is insane. Honestly, shout out to everybody at EA because, bro, they did a great job with player movement. I don't know what they did, but dude, keep it that way because I haven't clicked the spin button or the stiff arm button or the juke button in 3 years, and I don't need to start anytime soon because they made the left stick so good this year. It's going to be a lot of fun to see what kind of glitchy clips I can get with the good old left stick. Now let's go ahead onto the defensive side of the ball. We're going to talk about zones. Now zones are average in my opinion. They're going to be manipulated. Zones are always manipulated in Madden. You got to understand when you're dealing with Madden, it's a game where both sides of the ball have one user and then you're relying on 10 other AIs. It's 100% never going to be a perfect world where, you know, zones actually play how they play in the real NFL. But that's just something that, listen, if you play Madden, you just got to deal with it. You have to. You can't, you know, they're better in terms of, I feel like in like the term, I'm trying to think of like how to word this like the best way. I feel like clouds play deeper longer, but they still drop after a duration of the play. Like in Madden 19, I'd say clouds stayed back for like 3 to 5 seconds. But if you like rolled out with your QB, they'd get sucked down. Or if like a drag came across the field, they'd get sucked down and everything behind it would be wide open. I think now they stay back a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, zones are going to be manipulated. You're going to have to adjust to it. It's just how Madden is played. Man, on the other hand, is pretty decent. I would say it's actually not too bad if you want to kind of mix it in this year. I'm not even talking about cross man either. Just man across the board isn't that bad. In terms of manipulating man coverage, there are routes that beat man, but you can't like 100% directly manipulate man coverage. Like if your guy is manned up to somebody that's standing in front of him, unless something like down the line happens where you could just flip your play a million times and the next thing you know that guy's not manned up anymore. From what I saw, the man coverage is just man coverage. It's just going to be what man coverage is. It's just not as garbage as it used to be. And I know a lot of people hate running cross man. You don't have to run cross man. You can run straight up man-to-man press, and it's not that bad to mix in with your zones and stuff. Obviously, you know, if you're a top tier player, you're going to cross man, you're going to have a coverage shell behind it too. But I'm just saying for like, you know, casual players out there, you know, because that's the majority of the fan base of Madden. I completely understand that. If you're getting dotted up in zone, mix in some man, you'll be thankful. The next thing that we're going to be talking about on defense is my favorite thing on defense, the pass rush. The pass rush actually gets there. It actually shakes the pocket up. It makes the QB feel pressure. It makes the person you're playing against actually have to make real reads. When I say real reads, I don't mean 20-yard corner routes or 20-yard crossers every play. I mean, they're going to have a hitch. They're going to have a drag. They're going to have some sort of check down that they can go to if they do get interior shedded, because the interior sheds from Aaron Donald in this beta were crazy. Anybody will tell you if they were playing the beta, they probably got sacked by Aaron Donald. This was one of the biggest complaints as well, and I'm going to go ahead and kind of try to bring this together as to why they should never touch this pass rush while the pass rush is perfect. So I'm assuming 99, or no, not 99, 95% of the people that were complaining about it were the casual Madden playing field. And I get that, you know, they feel like, oh my god, I'm so rushed, I can't make a read. It's not fun if you're getting sacked. Well, most casual Madden players aren't probably running, you know, schemes of trying to win. They might be running coach suggestions. They might be running something that they saw on YouTube. They might be running something that they're trying to run that they saw somebody else run. They might be trying to run something from Madden 19 or something like that. And you know, the big problem with that is yeah, some of the things from Madden 19 do work, but the things that worked in Madden 19 were the 20-yard crossers, were the 20-yard corners. You can't do that anymore. You gotta leave the real checkdowns on the field, because you gotta be able to tell, okay, I'm getting in, like, hike, oh my god, he's coming in hot this play. gotta let the ball out quick. Or hike, oh, we actually got some good blocks. Thank God I left this intermediate route on the field. Get the ball out in that fashion. Or, ooh, hike, oh, we got a pancake on the O-line. We got so much time in the pocket. Then you hit them deep. It can't just be hike, roll out. Nobody gets any pressure after you rolled out 20 yards backwards, 20 yards to the sideline, and throw a crosser down the field. That's just not how real football was. Imagine if every single NFL team scheme was hike the ball, have their QB run as far back in the pocket or as far to the right or as far to the left of to the sideline and just throw 40-yard passes all game. A, the quarterback's arm would be dead, and B, the games would take 4 hours longer than a normal football game. If all you had to do was call 3 plays to get down the field, games would go on for too long. This is a real pass rush. This is something that really needs to stay in the game. It's 100% something that needs to stay in the game. 100%. If you complain about it, you don't have the right routes on the field. Plain and simple. Next up for the defense is usering. Usering is something I take pride in. I feel like I have one of the best users out in Madden. After you play the game a million times, bro, you know every single play before they even hike the ball. You know every single route combination. And this year it's interesting. Linebackers, bro, you're going to get this thing that comes up that says out of reach. It's because your linebacker can't jump. And it's quite frustrating. There are some times, though, where your linebacker does get his hands on it and you drop it. There are also times, I guess I can include this in this section since we're talking about interceptions, where the QB will throw the ball to your CPU defender. The CPU will hit their hands, get tipped in the air a million times. Another defender runs over, he'll tip it a million times, and it'll fall incomplete. I feel like dropped interceptions are huge, and I feel like that is bad. I feel like the interceptions need to be toned up immensely. If they don't want to touch the user, I get it. You know, they want players of higher overall that to be user, to get those crazy user lurk animations. I get that. But overall, if a player throws the ball right to my defender, they need to intercept it. There can't be, oh, he dropped it. Like, no, he made the error. I get it's a video game, but since it's a video game, reward the player that made the better call on defense than the player on offense who is blind and keeps throwing it to the defender. That is a skill to make the right read. If it is a skill to make the right read, punish the player who makes the bad read and reward the player who played the good defense. Plain and simple. Something very interesting, something that a lot of people were talking about, was the picking the play and the hurry up instant teleport to the line of scrimmage. So as you guys know, in years past, after you pick the play, you know, you would see your team kind of walk up to the O-line, everybody would set. This year you're freaking teleported there. You're teleported right to the offensive line. When you hurry up, it says like X amount of second runoff, and then you're right back at the O-line. And it's just crazy. It's like this teleportation thing. It's going to make quick hiking really viable, and it's going to also make, you know, defense a little bit tougher if you're a player like, you know, me or any high-level player that makes a million adjustments on defense because, well, you're not going to have that time to make adjustments on defense. Now, personally, for me, I don't really know where I stand with this, just because like I said, it was only 3 days. So, you know, when you're labbing for the 3 days, you know, you're trying everything. You're trying, you know, cross man, you're trying to make coverage shells, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that on defense. I mean, there are some times where I was getting quick snap to death. There were some times where I was able to get my defensive adjustments off, but that was because I was playing against somebody who was making a lot of offensive adjustments as well. I just feel like the defense is going to be at a disadvantage because of the teleportation to the offensive line right away. Maybe if they still want to do that, maybe they just like add an extra second longer before, you know, they can hike the ball or something. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people are going to lose games because of how quick the offense can snap you, whether they pick a play and then hurry up. It's just going to be something very interesting to adjust to. One of the things that a lot of people thought would flop, and I would actually include myself in that group of people, were the RPOs. RPOs are fun. I love them. And not only are they fun, they're actually good. Like, they are usable. I wouldn't necessarily see myself spamming an RPO every single play. I mean, there might be an RPO that you could spam every single play, but a big problem in the beta was that when you were running RPOs, you would sometimes get penalties for illegal man down the field. With that said, it was really, really hard to test certain RPOs, but the ones that I was able to execute properly were amazing. They were really good. I feel like if you can get good at them, I consider myself pretty decent at them for the short amount of time that I played. if you get really good at them, you're going to be able to put them in your offense. You're going to be able to get dots. You're going to be able to run the ball out of them. Really, really good addition. I thought it was just going to be, you know, another gimmicky thing that they add into the game that is just better off you just messing around with your friends running. You can actually run this in a competitive setting and probably succeed too. And it's going to be a lot of fun this year to mess around with RPOs. The thing that everyone was scared about, I was scared about it, was the abilities. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think like they're all that. Some abilities are noticeably better than others, but other than that, none of them are like, oh my god, that's so overpoweredly crazy. Like Todd Gurley's is pretty good. He can like stiff arm and like he puts you like in the ground. Like, it's really crazy. Like, it's just something to do with his ball carrier moves. Like, certain players' ball carrier moves are better than other players. I mean, as they should be, because not every single NFL player has crazy spins and jukes. But I mean, like Todd Gurley, Saquon Barkley, I believe, are two players that have really nice ball carrier moves. So they have this like one ability that allows them to perfect them almost and make them really, really useful, opposed to players that don't have that ability. But I mean, all in all, it's not like something that's gonna like make you win or lose games, in my opinion. I really don't think it is. Like I feel like if they do like balance the abilities as the year goes on and stuff, it's just gonna be something fun that's in the game. Even the X Factor abilities, which is the abilities you gotta earn in the game, meaning you gotta complete like a challenge. Like for Aaron Donald, it's get 3 sacks. When he gets 3 sacks, all you have to do on offense to get rid of his ability is get 20 yards. So that's 2 first downs. That's not impossible. It's very balanced in my opinion. I think they're going to make the game unique. Next, I want to talk about QB sneaks. Now, this is interesting, but like I said, I really wanted to like get everything that I felt like was necessary. Maybe people questioned about, maybe people already talked about, but I wanted to give my little spin on it, whether I agree, whether I disagree, kind of elaborate on it. I haven't seen that many people talk about QB sneaks, and I feel like QB sneaks have been something that have been kind of problematic in Madden over the years, because sometimes they're really OP, sometimes they suck. This year, they're not bad. Last year, in 19, they were horrible. You would just run right into your center's butt, and you'd fall, and the ball would just be marked for a gain of 0. This year, you know, you can kind of see the QB, like, kind of fight and, like, weave, like in between the center and the guard or something, or like kind of like, you know, lean his shoulder in. I like it. It's authentic. I think QB sneaks are good. Can't forget about kickoffs. I didn't see many kick returns. I only had 1 kick return ran against me in any of the games I played, whether it was a lab game, whether it was, you know, me labbing in a game against somebody that I didn't know, that I just was trying new stuff against. I only had 1 kickoff return against me. There will be a scum kick most likely. 100% there's going to be a scum kick day 1. And if you don't know what the scum kick is, that's pretty much where you can like perfectly kick it to like the fullback, and you know, it almost guarantees that they can't score a touchdown because they're returning it with their fullback. And squib kicks are actually at a higher trajectory. It doesn't just drive into the ground and then bounce. It like freaking soars and then it bounces. It's pretty unique, but I felt like that was something necessary I should bring up too, because I feel like a lot of people always ask about kickoffs and stuff. In terms of the onside kick, didn't really try it, mainly because history tends to repeat itself. Onside kicks probably won't be, you know, oh my god, you can actually recover them this year. I highly doubt it. If you ever recover an onside kick in Madden, I want you to just go buy a lottery ticket on that same day too. The final thing on my list for my brutally honest review of Madden 20 is the meta. Yes, the good old meta. Now guys, I know I only got to play the game for 3 days, but I pretty much went into every single formation that I possibly could. I pretty much just, you know, wanted to see like, is things from the past still good? Yes. The top 3 offensive formations that I'd say you're going to see most during launch, for players that really want to win, meaning like if you're playing like weekend league against somebody who would consistently get top 100 last year and they want to continue their reign in Madden 20, I would 100% guarantee that on offense they're running either gun trips tight end, gun bunch, or gun split close. Those formations are so good. They've been so good for years. And the reason is because it's so easy to run, it's so easy to pass, and it's so easy to block blitzes in those formations. And you have the best possible route combinations. Like, the route combinations from those formations are just so good. You can put your checkdowns, you got your deep ball, you got your intermediates, you got so much that you can do from all those formations. I put so much money on it that those are going to be the top 3 formations to use on offense. On defense, however, I feel like it's going to be kind of like a preference thing. I don't want to say like one formation is more OP than others yet. Like last year, you know, at one point everybody's running 3-3-5 odd, then like big nickel, 3-3-5 normal. But like this year, I feel like maybe on defense, it's just going to kind of come down to your preference. I don't know. For defense, I mean, I was cool. I was wooling in a lot of defensive formations during the beta, but you know, I don't necessarily have one that I feel like less confident in, if that makes any sense. Like I feel like I can eat from multiple defensive formations, which is a good thing for me at least, I think. But yeah, so I think defense is just gonna kind of come down to preference, and for offense, if you're playing against somebody that wants to win, they're gonna be in one of those 3 formations. So that's gonna wrap it up, guys. I hit every single thing that I really wanted to in regards of my review. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, man. If you played the beta, I want you to let me know if you agree, disagree with anything that I said. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Leave a like on the button if you are excited for Madden 20. If you're excited to rock with me for Madden 20, make sure you click that like button like 10 times for your boy. Comment down below, like I said, subscribe if you are new, and have a wonderful rest of your night, guys. Talk to you in the next one.